Hello and welcome to your June reading. This reading is based around the new moon in Gemini on the 3rd of June, but the energy for this can take you through June, all the way through June, or any time that you are drawn to it. So what I will do is I'll give you an overview of what a new moon is and a new moon in Gemini and what that will mean for you. There was a lot of information that I wanted to share with you here, so I've written a lot of notes to make sure that I cover everything and give you as much information as I can. So we'll begin with the new moon and what a new moon actually means. So a new moon isn't actually visible in the sky. It is in shade or hidden. And so it's often referred to as the dark moon. So you don't actually see it in the night sky until a couple of days later when it starts to go through the phases towards a full moon, and you just see the crescent starting to show around the outer edge as it continues waxing through to the full moon. So the new moon is a time to set your intent for your projects or ideas. It's about new beginnings, so it can be a time to even wipe the slate clean. Anything or anyone who has become toxic in your life, that energy can be cleared away now. It's a good time for fresh new beginnings. So you might find that someone or something new might be beginning at this time, or it's just a good energy to begin something. Planning. It's all about ideas and planning something. Putting it into action will come later on in the month. This is all about ideas, setting your intent. So you might apply for a new job, and it's also a good time for self-care, rejuvenating your body, mind and spirit, even through meditation. You might be feeling low in energy around this time or withdrawn, so it's really just a good time for reflecting and working on the ideas you have of where you want to be later on in the month. The new moon in Gemini is about communication, the importance of communication around this time, around the new moon and the weeks following it. It could mean improved communication with someone you love, or even with work colleagues, bosses, business partners or family. Talking things through with issues that concern you, perhaps where you would like to see yourself going in your relationship or in your business or your workplace. It's about setting the intent of where you'd like to get to later in the month, or whatever it's referring to, and what steps you can take to get there. It might even be emails, messages, conference calls, or something like that, particularly if it's business related. In relationships with communication, you might need to be having heart-to-heart chats with loved ones, or in business it might be that you need to really be making yourself clear to people where you want to go and what you want to be doing. If it's a difficult relationship, then maybe it's a time to wipe that slate clean, or clear the air, or just communicate to them how you feel, but be constructive and not destructive with your communication at this time. So we'll begin with the fire, and then the air, the water and the earth. So the fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This card here is the first quarter, is your commitment is being tested. So there could be some challenges that you are facing or are coming towards you at this time in June. Face them with confidence and believe in yourself or whatever the situation is that you're working on, focus on where you want to be and keep going in that direction for that desired outcome. The new moon is about work in progress, so keep moving forward with your ideas and your focus and work towards your dreams, what you want to see later in the month. The next card, these are a bit glossy and difficult to see, is Mars. It was interesting that Mars came up under the fire sign, particularly with Aries being a Mars-ruled planet sign. So Mars rules Aries, so this might be a caution to Aries to not let your fire ignite too quickly, Aries. Take a breath. Mars represents energy, drive, strength and stamina. So fire signs, you have what you need to get through the next 2 weeks under the new moon influence. The only caution here is not to be quarrelsome or defensive, particularly with the new moon in Gemini. Watch your words, okay? Because once they're out, you can't take them back. So don't be too impulsive with your words at this time. Take some time to consider what you want to say and then step forward without regrets. It's all about communication, so just remember that. Just ease back on the impulsiveness. So what we also have here, and these cards with the moon cards and that, they're always so dark, it's quite difficult to sort of see here what they are. So this one is darkness. It's interesting that also this darkness is at a new moon or the dark moon. So this card relates to a time of reflection, turning inward and looking at your behaviours or what no longer serves you. That's either relating to home, work, family or friends. Whether it's your behaviour or someone else's, self-reflection on the patterns or habits and what you put into place under the new moon as you move towards your dreams and desires later on in the month. So it's really just, again, like with the Mars, being very careful about your intent and your behaviour and what you are communicating back out to people. So I've drawn an angel, a romance angel card here as well. So this is heart-to-heart conversations for the fire signs. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. I'll put that there, might show up a bit better. So it might feel difficult at this time to do that with the new moon in Gemini, and with it being a good time for communication, then this is a time when you can initiate the conversation and let your feelings be known or listen to what they have to say to you. So you might need to seek a counsellor or a friend or family member to sit in with you to keep the conversation constructive if it's a difficult time for discussing things. But with the new moon in Gemini, communication should just run a little bit more freely. So fire signs, just watch your temper or impulsiveness, find a way to communicate what you would like, and spend some time thinking and reflecting on what you want before you act on it. Stay positive and move forward into the month of June knowing that communication is the key. So that all ties up quite well there, again, with communication. So the next one we have is air signs, Gemini, Libra and Aquarius. So this card is emotions are running high, and it's a supermoon. So this can be a more highly charged few weeks ahead for the air signs here over the next couple of weeks. The supermoon is a very intense card. It is a very successful time with a supermoon for work and for relationships, so that's really good news there. It can be a very positive outcome here, but there can be a lot of emotion with it being under a supermoon card here. So just watching that charge of energy that you might have with your emotions. So look at your options, and again with the new moon in Gemini, look at how you can communicate with those around you without being too supercharged in your emotions. So that should be reasonably easy. Air signs are about communication and that, so just don't let your emotions get on top of you. So the next card down is the third house. Again, another very dark card, very difficult to see. And this is your potential to learn something and your local neighbourhood. So the third house is your learning house, your potential for knowledge through workshops, courses, looking for information on the internet, etc. It can also relate to your surroundings around your neighbourhood and even to your siblings. So there might be a place nearby you that has classes, or perhaps a sibling might even suggest something to you, a course maybe that they're going to take, or a workshop or something like that that they think you might like to go along to. If this is connected to relationships, you might be supported by your partner to take up some training, and they may be encouraging with that for you. Otherwise, this can also refer to a new person coming into your life, and it might be someone that you meet in a workshop or on a course, or even through a helpful sibling setting you up with someone and suggesting that they know someone that you might like. Let's just hope they've got good taste. So the next card is creation. And creation here is create your own destiny. So this also relates to the card here, creation, and it's about being industrious and creative, doing something different to what you would usually do, like new studies, perhaps a course or whatever. So take action over the next few weeks and look at what opportunities are around you. And if somebody says there's a course going, it might be a good opportunity to consider that. So your romance angel card is retreat. So it's a time to disconnect from the world. Now, if you are taking up a course or study or something like that, this might be a reminder to you to take some time out for yourself, to just recoup yourself, or your partner. You might find that you need to be spending a little bit more time with your partner if you've been very busy with a course or workshop and very invested in that in order to keep your relationship strong, just take some time out with your partner and just find somewhere nice and interesting for you both to share some time together. If you're single, then spend some time alone to meditate and manifest the person who, with the new moon, it's a good time for manifestation, and who you might like to have in your life. So the next we have is water, Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces. And your card here, you're very close to achieving your goal. Yay! So this is a gibbous moon, and it isn't quite a full moon yet, but it is bulging with possibilities. So you are on the right track, although some adjustments might need to be made before you get to where you'd like to be. So this card also suggests caution is needed if a situation appears a little tense. Think of this card like a balloon, where it's not quite a full moon yet. So when you blow a balloon up, and you blow and you blow and you blow, if you go too far, it pops. So this is just really reminding you to use caution and don't overdo things. Don't be too intense, pushing too hard to get to where you want to be. The next card is the 6th house. So this is the work, health and duty area of your life. So it's also an area that is concerning your wellness and how you care for your body. So relating again to the card above and achieving your goal, this could be about you striving to achieve a health and fitness goal, perhaps being cautious of overdoing it with that burst balloon. So maybe just don't push too hard to get to where you want to go too soon. It can also relate to romance, in that it could also be your emotional health and how you feel about a situation with a loved one. Do you need to have some talks or communication with them, or them with you? How can you improve your relationship and keep it strong, or make it stronger and even repair? Since this is about health, how can you repair things if it's gone a little bit off track? This 6th house is also about an area of worrying or concern. And if this is the case, then communication right now with the new moon in Gemini is a good time to do that. In work areas, it's also about your fellow workers and environment and work that needs to be done. So do you need to be working on something in your work environment where you need to maybe find some balance to keep that area healthy for you as well. The next card here is gratitude. And the gratitude is, it might be a time for letting go of past hurts and issues, to be grateful for where you are right now and the possibilities of where things are going. So again, that's coming back to your health and achieving goals as well, about letting go of things that are not healthy for you, and just realizing that you're close to getting to where you want to be. It's not a race to get there. So focus on where you want to be, because you are close to achieving your goal. Feeling grateful can raise your vibration and bring you more to what you can be grateful for. It's the law of attraction. So just feel grateful, an attitude of gratitude. So your romance angel here is codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. So what might you be holding back from achieving your goal? Is it an unhealthy lifestyle, perhaps, that needs some attention? Do you or your partner have an unhealthy codependency that needs to be addressed? Are there issues from childhood, perhaps, that need to be revisited? And an open conversation that you need to have with the new moon in Gemini, that this might be a good time to sort of look at some of those things where you feel codependent or feel that somebody's too dependent on you. So it's about, and you may even need to work with a counsellor or something if it's something quite deep for you. Is it work related? Are you spending too much time at work or bringing your work life home and not spending time with your family or your loved ones? If it's a substance abuse or anything like that that makes you feel unsafe, you may need to seek a professional to deal with this in a safe and healthy and positive way. Again, this is coming back to being a good time for communicating your thoughts and feelings for most of you here. So the next one is Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and your first card is take time out to breathe. It's a time to regroup and learn from your experiences. You might have felt that things were happening very quickly in your life, or just a lot of things are happening around you. It's a time now to take some time out and refocus or reflect on what you have gained or learned recently. So just breathe. Don't hold it in, and just take some time out to breathe. So the next card is your first house. And the first house, the card of the first house is about you. So your life force, your first impressions that you make with people when you meet them for the first time. What are you communicating to people about yourself? How are you responding or reacting to people and situations around you at the moment? What is the impression you are giving to people of you? If you are beginning a new relationship or a project, then take a moment to consider what you are showing or communicating to those around you, and try to be aware of that impression. And if it's out of nerves or something like that, that might be where you need to breathe out and not hold in and just let the nerves go. The next card is realization, and this is actually what the new moon will look like in the sky once it starts to peep out from its dark moon phase. So realization, this is self-awareness and the realization of what patterns, habits and behaviors we have been communicating to others, and that relates back to this one about your image, your impressions. So what might you want to improve in your current situation? Don't place judgment on yourself or others. Just be self-aware about your impressions. Don't be self-conscious about it. And think about how you might choose to be seen by them. And it might come down to communication. You might be trying to put on a bit of a bravado or whatever that isn't really you, and so your impressions to people are not really who you feel you are. The person in the mirror is not being reflected back as the person you really are. So perhaps you need to just take a breath and be you. The romance angel card for you is chemistry, and this card is suggesting a strong connection with another person. If you are single, then there may be someone entering your life who will catch your attention straight away, and you'll know as soon as you see them. If you are in a committed relationship, then this might be a time to work on the chemistry between the two of you and to strengthen your relationship if it's become a little bit stuck in old patterns. And if this is to do with work, you might find that you get on really well with a new workmate, a co-worker or a boss, and you're able to bounce ideas off them, or vice versa, them with you. So your chemistry can relate to many different situations. It doesn't have to all be about romance or romantic feelings. So I hope you've managed to get something out of this to take forward towards the new moon. I'll do a reading around a new moon, and we'll take this a step further and see what energies have come from this reading and what you can take forward towards the end of the month. So that's your new moon in Gemini reading for the first 2 weeks of June. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye for now.